falling down a tunnel, and thinking about a cat named Dinah. Hello, and welcome to English with Justino, a podcast designed for you to learn English vocabulary, expressions, culture, and maybe even some grammar along the way. This podcast is for those already speaking a little English at an intermediate level. The idea here is to listen and learn from a native English speaker in a natural way, the way you first learned your native language, by hearing it. Okay, forward we go. Enjoy! Episode 17. Una caída al centro de la tierra. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you are listening. This story is the second of a grand adventure that I hope you continue to follow along with. I am planning to tell the story and then ask questions along the way in order to emphasize what is happening and to give you some new vocabulary words. Try to answer the questions while you are listening. The story may sound familiar, and I hope it is. There is a lot more to come. I suggest you listen to this and other podcasts many times if you want to improve your English. Keep practicing and try to answer the questions naturally. Don't forget to stay until the end to listen to the summary with different points of view, in the past, present, and future tenses. These are all there for you to improve your listening skills. And, as always, please visit www.oyejustino.com to find a transcription for this podcast and vocabulary cards with many common words. Listening to and following along with the transcripts is a good way to learn a new language. Please send me an email to let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Before we start, here's a summary from the last and the first story to remind you of where we left off. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank when all of a sudden a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. The rabbit actually took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and looked at it, and then hurried on. Alice got to her feet, and burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it. Fortunately, Alice was just in time to see the rabbit go down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. Alice went straight down the hole after the rabbit without thinking about what would happen, and soon she was falling. She was falling slowly down a long, deep well. And now, the story. Well, thought Alice to herself, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they'll all think of me at home. Why, I wouldn't say anything about it, even if I fell off the top of the house, which was very likely true. Alice was falling through the air and was thinking to herself, was she thinking that at home they would think she is timid? No, she was thinking they would all think she was very brave. Down, down, down. Would the fall never come to an end? I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time, she said aloud. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see. What would be 4,000 miles down? I think... For you see, Alice had learned several things like this in her lessons at school, and though this was a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as there was no one to listen to her, it was still good practice to say it over. Yes, that's about the right distance, but then I wonder what latitude and longitude I've gotten to. Alice had no idea what latitude was, or longitude either, but though they were nice things and grand words to say. Which direction was Alice going? Was she going up, up, up? No, Alice was going down, down, down. Was Alice thinking about how many kilometers she was falling on her way to Mars? No. Alice was thinking how many miles she was falling and thought it was somewhere near the center of the earth. Did Alice know about things like latitude and longitude from her school? Maybe, but she didn't know what they were. She was just thinking these would be good things to say out loud while she was falling. Presently, she began again. I wonder if I fall right through the earth. How funny it will seem to come out among people on the other side that walk with their heads downward. She was rather glad there was no one listening, this time, as it didn't sound like something she would say. But I will have to ask them what the name of the country is I end up in, you know? She would say, Please, ma'am, is this New Zealand? Or Australia? And she tried to curtsy as she spoke. Can you imagine curtsying as you're falling through the air? Do you think you could manage it? And what an ignorant little girl she would think me for asking what country I'm in. No, I will be too strange to ask this. Perhaps I shall see it written down somewhere." Did Alice say out loud to herself if she would fall right through the earth? Yes, Alice fell so far and long that Alice said out loud she would fall right through the earth. She also said that if she fell through the earth, she might come out on the other side with people with their heads downward. Was Alice glad no one was listening to her? Yes, Alice was glad no one was listening to her, because these are the kind of things she would never say or think about. Did Alice say she would ask the people what country they were in? Yes, she said she would ask them if they were in New Zealand or Australia. She then tried to curtsy as she spoke, but realized curtsying as you're falling through the air was a hard thing to do. She hoped she would see the name of the place she ended up written down somewhere. What strange things to be thinking about and saying out loud. Down, down, down. There was nothing else to do. So Alice soon began talking again. "Dinah will miss me very much tonight, I think." Dinah was the cat. "I hope they will remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Dinah, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat. And that's very much like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats, I wonder?" And here Alice began to get rather sleepy, and went on saying to herself in a dreamy sort of way, "Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? And sometimes, do bats eat cats?" For, you see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't matter which way she put it. Alice was still falling down, down, down through a large well. What did Alice do while she was falling? Well, there was nothing for Alice to do, so Alice began talking again. Who did Alice say was going to miss her? Alice said Dinah was going to miss her. Dinah was Alice's cat. Did Alice wish Dinah, her cat, was with her? Yes. Alice hoped they remembered to feed Dinah a saucer of milk, and that made her think about how she wished Dinah was with her falling through the air. Did Alice say there were mice to catch in the air while they were falling? Yes, she said this, but then thought maybe it was more likely, if Dinah was with her falling through the air, that there may be more of a chance to catch a bat than a mouse. She then wondered if cats eat bats, or if bats eat cats. Was Alice able to answer these kinds of questions while she was falling? No, Alice could not answer either question, and she was starting to get very sleepy. She felt that she was dozing off, and had just begun to dream that she was walking hand in hand with Dinah, and saying to her very earnestly, "Now, Dinah, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat?" When suddenly, thump, thump, down she came upon a heap of sticks and dry leaves, and the fall was over. Was Alice wide awake when she was thinking these strange things about her cat Dinah, and mice, and bats? No, Alice was dozing off while she fell through the air, and had just begun to dream about her cat Dinah. What did she ask her cat in her dream to tell her about? She asked her cat to tell her the truth about eating a bat. Did Alice suddenly land on the ground? Yes, Alice landed with a thump, thump, as she came down upon a heap of sticks and dry leaves. The fall Alice had was over, but she was lying on the ground, looking up, thinking just how strange all of this was. And that's the end of this part of the story. Let's listen to the summaries in the past, present, and future. Are you ready? The present tense. Alice is falling down, 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 without stopping for quite some time. Alice says out loud that she must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. She is also wondering, when she does land, what country she might be in. Alice keeps falling, and soon she starts talking out loud to herself about her cat Dinah. Alice asks out loud if anyone is feeding her cat back at home. Then she asks out loud if her cat is here, and are there any mice to catch. She supposes, maybe not, but there might be bats to catch. She doesn't know if Dinah eats bats. Just then, she falls into a heap of sticks and dry leaves. She looks up and is thinking how strange this all is. Alice is back on the ground, somewhere in a heap of sticks and dry leaves. The past tense. Alice was falling down, 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 without stopping for quite some time. Alice said out loud she was getting somewhere near the center of the earth. She was also wondering, when she did land, what country she was in. Alice kept falling, and soon she started talking out loud to herself about her cat Dinah. Alice asked out loud if anyone was feeding her cat back at home. Then she asked out loud if her cat was here and if there were any mice to catch. She supposed maybe not, but there were bats to catch. She didn't know if Dinah ate bats. Just then she fell into a heap of sticks and dry leaves. She looked up and thought how strange this all was. Alice was back on the ground somewhere in a heap of sticks and dry leaves. The future tense. Alice will be falling down, 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 without stopping for quite some time. Alice will say out loud that she will be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. She will also be wondering when she does land, what country she will be in. Alice will keep falling and soon start talking out loud to herself about her cat Dinah. Alice will ask out loud if anyone will be feeding her cat back at home. Then she will ask out loud if her cat will be here, and will there be any mice to catch. She will suppose maybe not, but there will be bats to catch. She doesn't know if Dinah will eat bats. Just then she will fall into a heap of sticks and dry leaves. She will look up and will be thinking how strange this all will be. Alice will be back on the ground, somewhere in a heap of sticks and dry leaves. And that's our story for today. I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope you understood everything. If not, I would suggest listening to this again and again. Once you hear the same words over and over, you will begin to understand, and your English will be at a higher level. Also, the transcripts will be posted for this episode at www.oyejustino.com, and you can listen and read along at the same time. Were you able to follow the differences in the tenses? I hope so. Listen next week as we continue this great story. I would love to hear what your comments are, and if you mention them to me, I will talk about them in a new podcast. Send me a message at english@oyejustino.com or visit our website to find transcripts, podcasts, and vocabulary flashcards. And again, see you next time. Bye-bye for now.